G'day guys, welcome back. For those of you that were unfortunately unable to get to last week's session, we had Alex Keith join us, the Bulldogs defender, and we learnt plenty about Keithy from his cricket days and even involved with his footy, even to the stage that he went under the pseudonym of Paul Brown at Dookie United to kick 8 when he was quite young, and even talk to his dog and even feed it. So nice little snippets of gold there from Keithy, and hoping we can get something similar today from our guest, who is none other than superstar of the Collingwood Bulldogs, Jeremy Howe. Jez, how you going, buddy?
Not bad after that beautiful intro. Thanks, mate.
No worries. And talking about beautiful, what about your hair at the moment? That is looking tip-top.
Yeah, the feedback fluctuates between positive and negative, but I like to focus on the positive, so let's stay with that one.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, and I hope I'm not taking the piss out of you too much here, but you went to a hairdresser for that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, that's all right. I just wanted to make sure, because it does. It looks really good. So,
you?
Mate,
what about you?
I can't talk. Look at this. I've got nothing, so don't worry. Mate, what have you been up to in the isolation? What have you been able to do?
Yeah, look, pretty much the same as a lot of people. So being able to train in the mornings, obviously go for a run and in a pair. So try and mix up who I train with out of the boys. Meet them at a park somewhere or an oval, get a session in, and then pretty much we've all got our little self-maintained gyms made up at home. So we all got to take equipment away from the club, set them up at home, and kind of make do with what we've got. Not setting any records. I'm not a big lifter anyway, but just something to be able to maintain a little bit of strength. And then for the rest of the time, mate, trying to fill in the day like everyone else. My garden's looking pretty sharp. The inside of the house is a bit redecorated. So, and then trying to fill the days in with a few gags here and there, a few trick shots with the golf club.
Like it. Well, speaking of golf clubs, mate, you would have got some good news now that the golf clubs are now open again. Have you locked in a tee time yet?
Well, funny you mentioned that. The messages started flying out this morning that we tried to book a couple of rounds in for tomorrow, but they're a bit log jammed as expected. I think everyone's kind of got the same idea. So the golf carts were booked. Most of the tee times were taken. So I might have to wait it out a little bit longer, but I'll get on there eventually.
You're at Yarra Yarra or Royal Melbourne?
Neither. But if any of those clubs would like to have me, be more than happy to send a request through.
We just had someone here saying how much they love their hair too, Jez.
That's positive. I'll take that.
Give her a very pop in for a haircut. Maybe if she can put her establishment name up there, that'd be great.
Much appreciated.
Mate, let's wind it back. And as I said to you, like if there's anything that pops up, please just yell it out in the comments box. But
sure.
You unfortunately missed out on the draft back in Tassie the first year round, didn't you? I think you're an electrician Sparky. What were your thoughts back then? You think like that was it? I'm not going to play footy, or you're pretty hell bent on just I'm going to make it no matter what?
Not really. I suppose when I was 18, I was still playing local footy, so just playing down with all my mates down at Dodgers Ferry, the local hometown, and how
many people are in Dodgers Ferry?
I think it was last time I looked, it was about 2,500 people. It potentially could be more. It's a bit of a hot spot at the moment. But yeah, look, I think when I was 18, I missed out because I broke my leg, so I got cut from the team, which is unfortunate, but that was okay. So I tried again as an overage, as a 19-year-old. Managed to play a few games, but they played me at centre half back, which I'd never played before. And I was awful, so didn't get picked up again. And then I made the move to a state league club, Hobart, in the TSL down there. So it's the best 10 senior teams in Tassie. Played a year there, and fortunate enough, I was able to get drafted at the back end of that year. So kind of a bit unexpected. I probably wasn't your typical chased and did absolutely everything possible to get there. So there was a bit of luck that that eventuated. But yeah, look, I'm stoked with how it panned out.
It's great to see Brodie Grundy obviously trying to wind you up at the moment. So glad that he's listening. When you first got to Melbourne, what did you make of it, mate? Did someone take you under the wing straight away, or left to your own devices?
Yeah, look, I think given that I got there, I was 20. I was a couple of years older. I kind of had a few life experiences in terms of even just working an everyday job. So I was I felt like I was I don't know, kind of naturally was drawn to guys who are a little bit older. So your Jared Rivers, James Frawley, Ricky Pettard, they were probably your three, along with like Geordie McKenzie, who I lived with for a couple of years. They were the guys that kind of probably looked after me really well. And, you know, like Riv was in the leadership group, so was James towards the end of it. And then, so funnily enough, how it ended up eventually, and all the boys ended up leaving me. So one by one, they ended up just getting out of there. So Riv went first. Oh, no, I think Ricky went first, then Riv, then Chip. Geordie McKenzie and Grimesy unfortunately got delisted, and then it was time for me to get out of there.
What did you do to them, Howie? Why did they leave?
Well, the common thing that was ended up, I was the one that got left there, so that must have been something to do with me. But no, look, they obviously got majority of them got opportunities elsewhere. But yeah, they were the kind of guys that probably looked after me, and Nathan Jones, especially being the skipper in that there for a period of time, he was unbelievable as well.
Yeah, and talk about your time at Melbourne, because you went through a few coaches. Like, obviously, it wasn't the most successful period, but I guess it could, I don't know, get big on you at a stage that, you know, were you looking to move at any stage before you got traded? I spent 5 years at Melbourne and loved my time there. Got unbelievable relationships with the boys in that there. It was more so, it was just a bit of, you know, we weren't overly consistent. We weren't playing great footy, but, you know, when we won, it was great. But, you know, the losses were a bit close in between. But, you know, I played 100 games there, 5 seasons, but I had 5 coaches, including the interim coaches. So there wasn't a lot of continuity with the coaching staff. But I think what they've got going now is a good system. You know, they obviously had Ruzi, who laid a really good base. Goody's come in, taken over, and they seem to be on the right track. So I'll still speak to a few of them here and there, which have, a few of them live around the Bayside area, and then catch up with them every now and then. But, you know, they're on the right track. But I think moving to Collingwood was the best decision for both parties. Jordan Allen's just written in, what's your diet? So maybe what's your go-to maybe before a game?
Yeah, so it's so for a game, I have the same food 48 hours pre. So 2 nights out, I have like grilled fish with brown rice and salad. A few sweet potato chippies just to throw in there for added extra.
Yeah, and is that why Brody Grundy's been calling you the rig? Is that why? You just eat so well?
Well, he's getting around it because I just went live with him before, so he was pumping out a session, the big fella, and he's always looking great. We're always chasing his rigs, that's for sure. And then the night before, pretty stock standard, it's your spag bowl. So load up plenty of carbs, and then maybe a little bit of a cheat meal post game, as we all love.
Yeah, I like it. The king all is me. What's your favourite thing to do before a game? Let's say it's a night game. Let's give it a bit of context.
Yeah, so if it's a night game, generally I like, say if it was a Saturday night, I like to watch the footy the night before, watch the whole thing, stay up relatively late to about 11:30, and then I kind of just sleep in to about 10ish, because I used to nap during the day for a night game, but now I don't anymore. I kind of found that I was a little bit lethargic going to the game, so now I sleep in and then start my routine by about 10:30. Have brekkie, go for a walk, have a feed at about 2:30, and then head into the game about 2.5 hours before the game, and slowly start the build from there.
Love it, mate. What a routine. Steph Chiocci has written in, obviously the AFLW captain at Collingwood. Yep. Who is your favourite AFLW player?
Oh, well, is she trying to set me up? So I'll say the Chotch, or
most likely.
Well, I think I'm a big fan of Big Shani Leighton, due to the fact that new to the sport, come in, had real impact and made All Australian. So for that kind of achievement, it's really good. Does it surprise me? No, because I've seen her train. She's an absolute workhorse, and she's a beast in the gym, and she's a competitor. So her evolution in terms of footy has been amazing. So I'd have to say Big Sean.
And speaking of Brodie Grundy, he keeps coming back into our conversation. We should have done a three-way, really. But she worked with Brodie quite a bit and puts a lot of her success this year down to him. So hats off to you, bro. Well done.
Yeah, I think Brodie always puts time into everyone else. And Yeah, he's a great man, the big BG Grundy, so get around him.
Here's a bit of a sentimental one from Courtney Carroll, 13. One thing
Yep.
in your life you appreciate greatly.
My wife.
Well, let's not say. Well, let's have an object. Your wife's not an object. You're always going to appreciate your wife's an object.
Appreciate. Oh, that's hard. I don't really know. Probably maybe my golf clubs.
You need to dust those off, Howie.
Mate, I was like, I need to get the toothbrush out, give them a fresh lick, and then hopefully someone will let me out on their golf course at some stage.
So have you got some sort of chipping thing going on at the backyard?
Oh, so I've been doing trick shots at home with
Just inside.
firing ping pong balls off inside everywhere. I'm probably not overly keen on getting the real golf balls out of my lawn because I'm trying to make it look really good at the moment. So, and I tend to take large divots, so I'm not sacrificing my lawn for divots. So
You get right under it.
Yeah.
Speaking of ping pong balls, mate, I've been around to obviously Matty Wade's place when you've been there, and you're obviously living there now, and there seems to always be a game of table tennis going on, and you guys, I thought Wadey was competitive, but he said you're more competitive than him. I didn't think that was possible, but can you talk us through some of those games you've had with him?
That's it's probably in the family genes. Like I'm the youngest on both sides, so my mum and dad's family. So I'm the youngest of 5 on mum's side, youngest of 6 on the other side. So I've always had to do absolutely everything right to just get a glimpse of anything. So, and like I think majority, like my mum's side is very sport orientated, and my other side of the family are all boys. So it's very competitive in anything we do. So
you were talking about then, sorry, Howie, that you had to scrap for everything.
Yeah.
Was there any a stage where like one of your brothers was really good at a sport, then you took it up, and then your brother might have given it up? Is that right?
This is good mail by you. It was tennis. So me and my brother used to play a lot of sports. So we used to play tennis, basketball, and footy. And then my brother was really good at tennis, so I took it up. We both played together in the same pennant team. And then he started coaching tennis as well. I was like, well, you have to be pretty good to coach. And then I started playing, and then I started beating him. So he quit. So
you wouldn't have rubbed it in either, would you?
Yeah, he hung him up, and then he ended up, just not picking up the racket again. So I may have wrecked his tennis career there, but then mine didn't last much longer anyway. I ended up giving it away.
Oh, Jesus. Daniel Macri has written in, when did you realise your vertical jump was impressive?
Probably when I was about 15. I didn't really start taking, like contested marks till I was about 15, 16. So in under 17s, kind of just I started playing like wing in the middle a little bit, but just playing kick behind the ball. So you get plenty of looks at reading the play and kind of just not playing anyone. So not too dissimilar to what I'm doing at the moment. But look, I think, I just started trying to put the two together, just timing, bit of footwork, and then I've managed to, strong hands is probably something that I've had for a period of time. Like my brother was always a good mark, so I must have probably taken a few tips from him, no doubt.
And probably ruined his career as well.
Well, we had one season where we played the Sharks, Dodgers Ferry senior team, and both in the same forward 50 at the same time, and it just didn't work. We'd just clash all the time. So I ended up moving out of there anyway, so I just gave it to him himself. Then I started lacing him out from the wing.
Jake Bozanovsky has written, which player at the club has the best sense of humour? Give us one from Melbourne when you were there and one from Collingwood. Sense
of humour. I'd love, especially in my early days, Aaron Davey at Melbourne. He was unbelievable. I actually only just spoke to him on FaceTime the other day, actually. It was a really cool conversation. Love it. So good. He's up in Cairns. And then at Collingwood, probably sense of humour. Someone who probably makes me laugh is Steele a lot of the time. He's generally taking the piss out of a lot of people, but he's got a great sense of humour because if you can find someone who doesn't get along with him, I'll pay him a lot of money. Yeah.
Ellie Hay. Are you a dark milk or white chocolate person?
Milk chocolate. Is
Milk
that
chocolate.
is that even a question? It's like dark
Well,
chocolate.
they get a bit funky now.
Dark
They've
chocolate
got some
is
added flavours.
dark chocolate is a poor excuse for a chocolate. White chocolate, I don't mind. I'd be like dairy milk or milk chocolate, and then maybe like a marble or something like that. But dark chocolate's putrid. So I might rub a few people up the wrong way by saying that, but yeah, I'd be along those lines.
You can't win them all, mate. You can't get everyone, so don't stress too much. Ellie Hay, are you a dark milk or white chocolate person?
Milk chocolate. Is that even a question? It's like dark chocolate.
They get a bit funky now. They've got some added flavours.
Dark chocolate is a poor excuse for a chocolate. White chocolate, I don't mind. I'd be like dairy milk or milk chocolate, and then maybe like a marble or something like that. But dark chocolate's putrid. So I might rub a few people up the wrong way by saying that, but yeah, I'd be along those lines.
You can't win them all, mate. You can't get everyone, so don't stress too much. We've had plenty of comments coming about, I guess, BT's commentary and also you taking some solid speckies. There's got to be at least like 3 or 4 that are just sitting in the back of your head just going, they were unbelievable for different reasons. It may not be how high you got. I'm sure there were 3 or 4 that stick in.
Yeah, I think one that doesn't really get much traction, that should, no, I'm joking, is there was one up in Darwin. It was on Stephen Martin, Alapati Carlisle. That was it was the same year that in 2012 the one that my Sydney one was in. So they were out of the 3 marks I have in the final at the end of the year. 2 of them, those 2 were in it, as well as someone else's. I can't remember, but that one was probably up there that rivaled like the best mark that I've ever taken. And obviously the Queen's birthday one in 2017. I think I've had a conversation with a few people that that's probably one mark that everyone will remember because it didn't win. So yeah, that'll be up there in the top 3. It'd be those.
I've just seen footage of you when you found out that you didn't win Mark of the Year in 2017. And I don't think lemons could be that sour.
Oh, well.
That was solid, mate. That you did not hide your emotion. You were sitting back there, you had a beer there, and I reckon, you're right, I'm sweet, I've got this.
Yeah.
And as soon as it got called, the way he does the same thing. You got called absolutely spewing.
Well, you know, I still want to know what my invite to the Brownlow was for, because I certainly don't poll votes. I didn't poll a vote that year. I wanted to know why I was even in that joint. And then, it was an interesting one. I signed posters and all for that one. So, they came to me and made me sign posters. So that's where the confidence come from. And then all of a sudden,
maybe it was a last-minute change in the voting. It was close and they had to give it to someone else.
No, Big BG Grundy. It was me and him in the same one, and it was fan voted. So maybe we took votes off each other. But
fair enough. So I mean, at least Carly got there. You got to take the Dale there, have a couple of few. She
enjoys going there and gets doled up. So
and we got married last year, didn't you?
Yeah, so we got married at Crown December 29. So fortunate timing in the end. Looking
you
at
obviously had a small wedding, like a really small one, didn't you? Because I didn't get to go, but I'm presuming there was only limited numbers.
Yeah, look, we had to cut a few late. Like you're on the original list, and then all of a sudden it was like we ran out of seating. So
that's what I thought. Yeah,
we thought it'd be better off to just not originally invite you. So then we had to drop you. So we just kind of invited you, but didn't tell you, then drop you. So.
Saves a hassle, so that's fine. No, I totally agree. In my history at weddings, it's probably a good thing that I didn't come. So.
Oh, don't worry. It's like being around footy clubs. It's like there's a number of those blokes who bring their best to the table at weddings, and normally that's me on the other end of it.
Well, speaking of that, like, how was the first dance? Did you do anything like as a lead up with Carl's at all about the 2-step or?
Nah, so we kind of hit the dance floor at most people's weddings. So we kind of thought we had no routine. It was like we'll just wing it, see what happens, and we'll just run with it. And it came to the actual dance. I was like, geez, I'm not real sure what we're going to do here. Then we just started kind of just dancing around to a song, and then I gave her a bit of a spin. Surprised, I don't know how I didn't drop her. And then managed to get everyone else on the dance floor and get the focus off us and get everyone else partying and dancing around us.
I like how you said get the attention of us, but I've got a feeling you might have pulled a crowd around just you before. I'm hearing that you fancy yourself as a bit of a dancer, Magic Mike style, on that stage in particular. Are those rumors true?
Magic Mike style? I don't think so. I managed to keep my kid on, so. But normally, I think like everyone, the weddings probably bring out the most joyful up and about side of people, and I maximise that feeling on the dance floor. I don't play back the vision and look at it. So it's probably awful, but at the time I probably feel like I'm killing it. But the reality,
you do. And no doubt, I've done exactly the same thing. When you're in the moment, you probably think there's cameras around you and you should be in Hollywood, and then you actually look back at that footage and you go, why did I do something like that? But
seriously,
have you ever got to the stage where you felt so confident in your dancing ability that you would challenge someone to a dance off? And it might be someone you don't even know.
No, because if someone requests a dance off live, I'm not doing it. No. Like I said, if I'm at a wedding or I've had a few beers, I don't mind having a dance. If someone asks me to dance completely like out of nowhere, I'd be so bad. I'd probably be just as bad as what I am when I've had a few beers. But
so did you win that dance off in St Kilda?
Where have you got this from?
I'm just seeing if it's true or not.
I did have a dance off with a Michael Jackson impersonator.
You can't not have a dance off with that.
You've been getting mail from someone from Melbourne. I know that.
Look, working at the AFLPA is obviously you meet a lot of people, so it really could be anyone.
Yeah, look, that was one-off dance off, and if you ask me on the day, did I win it? I'd probably say yes. But yeah, looking back at it now, I probably got smashed.
There was a question that came up before. Who was your best mate at the club?
I don't kind of like stick them out.
Narrow it down to about 8 then.
It'd probably be your older guys, crossed with a few youngins like Sidey, Pendles, Brody, Tay. You know, I could just keep going. I could keep reeling them off.
Yeah.
Big BG Grundy, a few young boys, Braden Maynard, the Gowies.
I didn't see any of your photos, and obviously, as I said before, I wasn't at the wedding, but were any of the boys in the groomsmen at all?
Nah, so I had the old XD's boys. So I had James Frawley and Jared Rivers. I had my brother, and then I had a couple of mates back from Tassie in it. So, like I said, I could have potentially, if it was up to me, I would have had 15 blokes standing next to me on the day of the wedding, but it probably would have looked a little bit out of sync, though Carly had 5.
Someone's reading, what does your weekly training schedule look like? And it's just scrolled up. I can't get his name, but...
now?
Well, let's give us a week in isolation and then maybe a week when things aren't as bad.
Yeah, right. So, week in isolation, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, running and doing weights. So, whatever weights that looks like, I'll mix it up. Normally do leg weights Monday, Friday and run. Then Tuesday, Wednesday do uppers. I normally have my weekends off, so not
when
doing
you say uppers, you do bench press as well?
Upper body gym, yeah. Have you? As lucky as like this zip's about to come up.
What are you pushing with a bench press?
Because at the moment we've only been limited to a few weights, so I'm maxing out all my weights at the moment. So about 80. It's called White Beach. But plenty of repetitions. And then in season, it's probably you try and mirror it up as best as you can. So two solid main trainings with a bit of a lighter day in the middle of the week, 4 weight sessions. The leg day is not my strong suit, as you've seen my legs before. They don't really like lifting up heavy weights. But I've got to do it. You just got to push through. There's sacrifice you got to make.
We've just had Wadey come in. Wadey sent a message and said, "Why do you colour your beard red?"
I could ask him the same question why he tries to dye dark brown.
Jess Carroll 98. She said, "What do you love about the Magpie fans?"
That they turn out regardless of what's going on. So we play in front of bulk crowds, flat out. And I think that's one of the most appealing things at Collingwood, that the fans are loyal, faithful. They come out regardless of what's going on, and they're very vocal, so very passionate. And probably the biggest fan of all is the Prez. So
Isn't he?
he probably leads by example in that aspect. He's the most passionate Collingwood supporter we've got. So, yeah. But the fans get around us, which is great.
We'll take a couple more questions. We've got Georgie there. Your favourite place in Tassie?
There's a few. We used to love going down a place called White Beach down New Beena Way, right down the bottom. Our family friends had a shack down there, and then Dad's got a shack in Bicheno up the east coast of Tasmania, so it's a beautiful spot. Like when tourists and that maybe go to Tassie, they like to look at, say, like Wineglass Bay and Freycinet and all that kind of stuff. So it's similar type area, beautiful beaches, relatively quiet when it's not in the peak season. So yeah, try spend a bit of time there when I get the opportunity to go back home.
Abby Jane just wrote in, quickest player at the club, who wins the sprints?
Well, I'm not sure if Abby Jane tuned into our first game, round one, but they had the GPS results, and I was the quickest player on the ground. So, but normally it's Callum Brown. He's got legs the size of Wadey's, but he can actually move.
So he changed a bit.
Yeah.
Tammy Jade, what team do you like to play against the most?
Oh, probably Richmond. Generally, because it's a blockbuster. So just playing in front of 80, 90,000 people. Play at the MCG. It's chockers. Their fans are just as passionate as ours, and it's just always a big game, regardless of where we are on the ladder. And fortunate enough, we've both they've had clearly unbelievable 3 years, and we've been thereabouts. And there's been plenty on the line for our previous 4 games, and they've been pretty good showings.
What Jess Press 4779? What did you feel like when you were on the players' shoulders?
Well, there's not too much time to think about it.
Well, that's not what you've told me off air before. You've told me that you're up there quite a long time, and you've got plenty to think about.
Right. Yeah. Look, the only one I was probably thinking about. I don't try to go look for them too often, but the one on Queen's birthday, when it's on the old mob, is probably the ones you get a little bit more excitement out of. So the one on Tommy McDonald was probably the one that I was most proud of, given it was on him.
Favourite place to eat in Melbourne? It's already scrolled up.
I can give out some plugs here, can I? Big Chin Chin fan. Love Miss Miyagi.
Too.
Yeah, but something that I'm potentially not used to.
Great opportunity in the last couple of months, hasn't it, to do some of those things. But Howe, unfortunately, that half an hour is already up. It's probably felt like a long time for you. You've done a couple of these already today. But mate, thanks so much for jumping on. Thanks for colouring your hair for us as well. Much appreciated. And thanks so much for everyone sending their comments and questions in. Hopefully we can get someone else in next week as well. Obviously, going to be hard with someone of Howie's standard, but mate, thanks so much. You're an absolute legend, and look, hopefully the game's back on pretty soon, or sooner rather than later. We get to see you having a kick around pretty soon.
No worries at all, legend. Good to speak to you.
Thanks. Cheers, Howie.
Catch up.
See you, mate.